brutal guard, Edmund Custis, earned the nickname Bloody Bet for beating patients without provocation. He was eventually killed by one of his victims whom he had stripped naked and chained to a wall. Haunted royals, vampire myths, paranormal past, uncover dark history story every week with us where legend meets truth. Welcome to Phantom Chronicles. The word Bedlam means chaos and madness. Today it is a modern psychiatric hospital in London. But if you were unlucky enough to be sent there in its earlier days, you would know why its name is synonymous with madness even today. Founded by the church as an almshouse in 1247, in full 12 AD century Europe dominated by kings, nobles, knights, and peasants, in which the Catholic Church dictated Western Europe politically, spiritually, and intellectually. Bethlehem Hospital quickly became known as Bedlam. It became the first institution to attempt to treat the insane in 1357. Italian Bishop Goffredo de Perfetti first established the facility, which was meant to help raise money for the Crusades through alms collection. However, it was not uncommon for religious figures to take in the indigent who were and are still often mentally ill. It is unclear when the facility shifted its focus exclusively to treating the mentally ill, but by 1330, it was referred to as a hospital, and by 1377 it was known primarily as a home to the insane. Even though chronologically from 1200–1500 century, the mentally ill were addressed to and seen as mad people, which equated to sin, demons, witchcraft, and were treated by church rituals, and from 1500–1600 century was characterized by witch hunts, confinement, early medical texts. So saying that Bethlehem has been referred to as a hospital between 1330 to 1377 is inaccurate. However, Bethlehem has now been home to the mentally unwell for over 6 centuries. But for nearly all those years, its inmates survived in conditions of almost unimaginable horror, filth, and abuse. In the 16th and 17th century, Bethlehem was crowded, dirty, and dangerous. A report from the 1600s found the sewer below the building was constantly blocked, with filth piling up at the entrances. There was no connection at the time between health and hygiene, and water had to be hand-carried. So even regular hospitals were filthy, and Bethlehem was worse. By the late 1600s, the desperate need for a remodel had been recognized, although not to improve the services rendered. Instead, the hospital was rebuilt on grounds just outside the city, with an eye to its appearance. Without public funding, it was necessary that the hospital show itself as a home of charity and assistance. Bedlam's new design came from Robert Hooke, a city surveyor, and included Corinthian columns and a cupola-topped turret. The facade was inspired by Louis XIV's Tuileries Palace in Paris. It also overlooked formal gardens with tree-lined promenades. However, the inside of the hospital displayed itself for what it truly was: broken. The beautiful ornate exterior was far too heavy, causing the back of the building to crack. The walls ran with water whenever it rained. Built on rubble, the foundations of Bedlam soon began to collapse as well. It is also during the 17th century that the infamous asylum began to inspire numerous Jacobean dramas and ballads. The hospital was used to explore the meaning of insanity and who had the power to decide who was sane. In The Honest Whore, Part 1, Bedlam was first used as a stage setting. As the best-known and largest asylum,